Recently, I asked my tribe what their biggest challenges or hurdles were that were stopping them from creating the epic sex life that they deserved. I had literally hundreds and hundreds of responses, and from those responses, over 85% of women mentioned body shame as their primary challenge. So although that it totally sucks that so many of us aren't digging the skin that we're in, it's not so surprising. Because we live in a culture that gives us permission to criticize ourselves and then punishes us if we praise ourselves. We are fed unrealistic beauty ideals every single day, and we're trained to berate ourselves when we fall short. No woman is born hating her body. She doesn't come out of the womb telling her mum that her thighs are fat. She learnt that. She got force-fed a bunch of BS about what a woman should look like and the importance of what someone else's perception of perfection is. And I know this story very well. I battled disordered eating, bulimia, for over 5 years. For a long time, I was at war with my body, forcing it to conform to what I saw in the magazines or in the TV. I was hoping that by being attractive, I would get the love that I was so desperate for from myself, from someone else. I needed constant outside validation and approval from anything else other than me. And my self-esteem was dependent on how I was perceived externally. And my worth was wrapped up in actions and the reactions of men around me. Not a happy girl does this make. Now, it isn't rocket science to see how feeling crappy about your body messes with your happiness, and it most certainly affects your sex life. Self-criticism is directly related to depression, and does depression improve your sexual well-being? No, it does not. It creates a form of stress in your body, and your body reacts as though it's under attack, which it actually is by your mind. And it keeps you far from being relaxed and that orgasmic bliss that you were hoping for. Now, a woman's sexual satisfaction is directly linked to her body satisfaction. You cannot enjoy epic sex until you fully accept your body. That is a fact. So before we dive into the solutions to body shaming, I want to get you super clear on what hating your body or not accepting your body as it is right now is costing you. So go and get a pen and a pad and get ready to write this down. You can pause the video, I'll wait. Got one? Great. On top of the piece of paper, write what does staying stuck in body shame cost me? Then underneath it, list everything of how it impacts your entire life, how it affects your relationships, your sex life, your social life, everything. Write it all down. Next, write the heading, what would my life look like if I let go of body shame and moved into total body acceptance? Now notice I didn't say body love. We can work on body love later, but for most of us, a little more self-acceptance is going to be life-changing enough. So write down how your sex would change, how your intimate relationships would change, how you feel about yourself, what you would allow to open up to, put it all underneath. Next, circle the reality that you would most like to create for yourself. If you circled the bottom one, awesome. Let's get cracking and we can create some change together. In a moment, I'm going to give you 4 ways that you can make radical shifts towards total body acceptance. But first, a little side note. Now, I'm not going to pretend that it's going to be easy. In fact, it's going to be hard, very hard. The world, unfortunately, is designed in a way to make us hate our bodies. But little steps every single day will be enough to take the power back, I promise you. Now, if I can do it, you can do it too. Self-acceptance is a skill, and just like you learn to criticize your body, you can learn to accept, like, and maybe even love it as well. All it takes is commitment and a bucket load of courage. So my tip number 1, get passionate about self-compassion. So self-compassion is the opposite of self-criticism, and it is the weed killer to body shaming. Treating ourselves with compassion and kindness doesn't mean that you'll never ever hear those negative nasties in your head telling you your stomach's fat ever again. But by flicking the switch to self-compassion and being kind to yourself, you instantly dilute that voice to just a dull murmur, and it makes it easier to get on with your day. And that leads me to my next step. Gratitude is the attitude, baby. Now, I know that this sounds a little new agey and cliche, but seriously, it's magic stuff, and here's why. The brain is malleable, and you can actually rewire your brain to seek out the good rather than the bad by constantly creating new positive thoughts which make new neural pathways within your brain. But you gotta feed it with the good stuff first. And with an attitude of gratitude towards our bodies, it makes it so much easier to do just that. So when we look at our body for what it provides rather than what it physically looks like, we can create a much more loving and positive perspective. And there is so much to be grateful for when it comes to these bodies. They're amazing machines built with your pleasure in mind, regardless of your body shape or the size of your thighs. Now, your body just wants to give you all the bliss in the world. It's your bloody brain that keeps getting in the way. So make a list of what your body allows you to do and experience, and then ask yourself, does it deserve all that harsh criticism that you chuck at it? Number 3, inspire yourself. Now, there are not a lot of things in this world that we can control, but we can, to a certain extent, control what we put in front of our eyeballs. So seek to find inspiration rather than stuff that will make you feel less than. For example, if you're staying up all late at night and scrolling through Instagram posts of Victoria's Secret supermodels, then catching a big case of comparisonitis is almost inevitable. I want to invite you to go on the hunt for kick-ass and empowered women who inspire you. I want you to fill your feeds with those that buck the norm, who stand for something bigger than their breast size, and let them show you new ways of being and inspire you to keep up your self-positive, self-acceptance campaign. Number 4, follow the 5 and 5 rule. Lastly, make a commitment to spend 5 minutes every morning when you wake up and 5 minutes every night before you close your eyes to go to sleep to send yourself love. Now let it be the first thing that you think of when you wake up and the last thing on your mind at night. Now you can action this however you like. It might be that you place your hands on your heart and one on your belly and you repeat kind words to yourself when you're in bed. Easy. Or think loving thoughts each morning and night as you brush your teeth. Whatever it is, just create a mini ritual around it and stick to it. Now, you don't have to fully believe in it to begin with, but in time, it will become your truth, I promise you. Now, I hope all of these little tips help, but for more practices and teachings around sex, self-love and relationships, head on over to tarao.com.au and I will see you over there.